Welcome back to part 2, where we're going to find the difference, where, as you know, sum means addition, difference means subtraction. So we're going to be doing a little bit of subtracting here instead of adding. So first things first, 7x plus 10 minus 3x minus 8. Notice that 7x plus 10 does not have anything in front of it affecting the group, so we get to just drop it down. 7x plus 10, but then the second group, 3x minus 8, does have something affecting it. It has that negative sign, so we're going to have to share that negative sign to everything within the group, which you're going to notice something happen. With the positive sign, nothing affected it, but when I distribute this negative, remember that there is that invisible 1 right there. So anytime I distribute a negative, watch what happens. Negative 1 times positive 3x changes to a negative 3x, and then negative 1 times negative 8 changes to a positive 8. So anytime that you have your subtracting of polynomials, that minus sign turns everything in the group that it's affecting to its opposite. So now instead of having a positive 3x, I have a negative, and then instead of having a negative 8, I have a positive 8. But now I'm able to compute everything as I did in my previous video. I could put my x terms together, and that is going to create 4x. And then I can put my constants together, which is going to create a plus 18. Okay, so now I have the polynomial 4x plus 18. Now that is my horizontal method. You could have also done it with my vertical method, and I'm going to do that one in number 2. So in number 2, you have negative 14x plus 3, and then minus parentheses negative 2x plus 5. So I do want you to pause the video and attempt this one without me. I'm going to personally use the vertical method, so that way I can make sure I'm hitting all of the people who like the different methods, but you use whichever method you prefer. Hopefully at this point we're getting a lot more comfortable with the combining of the terms of polynomials. The only thing I could see being tricky is this negative sign being distributed to everything within that group, turning it instead of a negative 2x to a positive 2x, and then instead of a positive 5 to a negative 5. But regardless of which method you use, you should have ended with negative 12x minus 2. So now, because we've done so many examples with addition and now essentially the same thing just with subtraction, we're going to skip down to number 5. If you would like to pause and go back and do 3 and 4, I completely support you on that. Just for video purposes, I'm going to just skip down to number 5. But please, 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 if you would like to attempt 3 and 4, I highly encourage you to do so. And if you want to put your answers in the comments, I would be happy to check those for you. So number 5 is that negative 7 times that entire group, and then you have negative 5 times that entire group. So this one's a little bit lengthier of a process because there is so much distribution happening. I have a negative 7 being shared to everything on the inside of this group, and then a negative 5 being shared to everything on this group. So I'm going to pause the video. I want you to distribute those powers, or not powers, my goodness, this constant right here, and I want you to see what happens whenever you do this negative times the positives. Hopefully you see that this negative 7 turned this positive 2 into a negative 14, and then literally everything that you multiplied that negative 7 by not only turned it to its opposite, but then also the product of 7 and that number. So sometimes they do want to throw in that distribution piece to make sure that you remember to share to everything inside of the group. So please do not forget that part. But now the process is actually pretty simple. I do have it set up currently as my horizontal method. Again, you can choose which method works. I personally go back and forth between the two, but for this one I'm going to stick with this. So I see the highest degree is 4, so I'm negative 14x to the 4th. I don't see any other x to the 4th, so I get to just drop it down. Negative 14x to the 4th. Personally, I'm going to mark it out so that way I know I'm done with it. Now next would be a 3, which I see a 3, and I see another 3, so I'm going to go ahead and underline those. And then I'll have negative 21x to the third plus 15x to the third, which is going to create that negative 6x to the third. Next, I have the degree of 2, which I happen to see just 1, so I get to drop it down. Negative 20x to the second. I'm going to cross it out so I know I'm done with it. So then would be my degree of 1, which is going to be negative 7x, and negative 40x, which will create negative 47x. Last but not least are our constants. 7 and 30, they are both positive, so I'm just going to write positive 37. So as you can see, whenever you're dealing with polynomials, you are just doing what we've always done, which is combining like terms. But this time, now I have multiple degrees, and I need to make sure that they are in descending order as far as the degrees go. Okay, hopefully subtraction wasn't too difficult for you, and I'll see you in part 3.